Hey guys, this is Rock King 3 bringing you the dual comm last part 4 of 4 of the in-depth review of Call of Duty Ghosts. In this final part is going to be going over weapons, assault and SMGs mainly, the attachments for those weapons, um, going over squad points, score streaks, including all three of them, specialist, support, and assault. And then Moneyman and I both give you our final rating of the game overall. You'll see we're pretty optimistic about it. And go ahead and take a listen to this. This will be the last part, 404. Thanks a lot for sticking with us. And leave any comments or questions you have below. Talk to you later. Thanks.
We still got a couple topics to cover here, so
Yeah, I'd like just to kind of go in the direction of the guns, and talking about the guns in general, kind of a gun balance, and kind of what kind of guns you've been kind of leaning towards. I know you and I play a little bit differently. You've always been more of an AR person. I was always an SMG guy. Now it's kind of flip-flopped a little bit. I think you've been running a little bit more, and I've been doing a lot more AR work. So it's kind of interesting how this has gone. I know you still favor the ARs, but what is kind of your typical loadouts right now?
yeah, I mean, I have all 6 unlocked on the one character, and I really haven't started on a second one yet. And it's AR dominated. I mean, I only have one SMG slot right now, and I switch around on that. So my go-to class is the MSBS, and everybody's gonna be like, "Ah, that's overpowered," and things like that. I actually don't believe it's overpowered, and I say that because it's number one, it's the only burst weapon in the game, and it's not forgiving, meaning that if you miss your first burst, you're dead. You need to be accurate, and if you're an accurate shooter, then yeah, you can do some damage with this. The other thing that limits this gun a little bit is that it's not very good at range at all. I've put, if somebody's across some of these maps, I can get hit markers on them all day and never kill them with this. It has a pretty significant damage drop off at range, but it's a beast at mid range. And if you're a good shooter with quick reactions, meaning you can get your first shot on, it can be deadly at close range sometimes as well. So that's kind of my go-to thing if I'm struggling and things like that. It does 2 things for me. One, it makes me slow down. It makes me slow down, make it into a medium range fight because I have a tendency to spawn, run, die, and sometimes I need something that slows me down. So the MSBS does that. I really hope they don't nerf it. I hate the idea of nerfing weapons. I think they nerfed the good weapons right out of Black Ops 2 and really made it a bland weapon game towards the end because so many weapons were so average in that game. I think the weapon balance is actually pretty good, so that's my go-to. I've been using a lot of AK-12 as well. I use my ARs all in conjunction with Focus and Stalker, every single one of them. As we can kind of blend in and out of the perks here, and then mix it up, and usually Quick Draw as well. Those 3 are almost an absolute standard on all of them. Stalker's huge. That ability you need to be down the sights a lot in this game. Every time you stop, you should be down the sights. And this way you can still move at normal speed while you're down the sights. So I can use an AR, and I can keep moving. I can go around corners while I'm sighted in. Being down the sights as much as you can in this game, getting that jump on your opponents is huge. Stalker helps you do that, as well as steady aim. Or not steady aim, but Quick Draw allows you to do that. And then Focus. Focus it's the equivalent of toughness. And you couldn't run anything without toughness in Black Ops 2, and I feel the same way about Focus in this one. It makes a big difference. It allows you to win gunfights you would otherwise lose. So I use that. I always have a Honey Badger loadout. It's a great versatile weapon. It's a nice in between. I probably use it more like an SMG. It's like a good ranged SMG. So that's another reason why you really don't need to use SMGs, because the Honey Badger can really fill that role. It doesn't have great range, but it's got good pop. It's very accurate. I run everything with grip. So if you don't know AR, this time around grips work, and they work significantly, and it makes every single AR better and more accurate. So I run everything with a grip and pretty much everything with a red dot in the AR class. The exception to that is I also run my silence loadout, or my other silence loadout. I like to run the SC2010, and I have that red dot silenced. It doesn't need a grip. It's very, very steady the way it is. It's a very accurate weapon. So it's a good weapon if you're looking for something to kind of stay off the radar. You put a red dot on, you put a silencer on it. It's very accurate. Allows you to get your shots on target. And then I play around with different SMGs. So I've used the The MTAR, which is what I'm on now, trying to find a loadout there. I've used the Vepr. I tried the Bison. I thought that was awful. Couldn't kill anything with it. So far, my favorite has been the Vepr, but it seems really inconsistent. I can do really well with it, and I can not kill anybody with it, and it's not very good at range at all. The MTAR definitely has better range than that. And I haven't really used the other classes. I've played around with the marksman rifles, but I haven't really gotten too deep with them. Other ARs, I have used the Remington. A lot of people like it. It's been hit and miss for me. I've had it in and out of my lineup. I haven't even unlocked the FAD or the ARX. The times I picked up the RX, I didn't like it at all because of how inconsistent it is. Again, it's one of those weapons that feels like it should kill a lot faster than it does, but it doesn't seem to. And the FAD is the FAD from Modern Warfare 3, and I have no reason to unlock it and probably never will. That's kind of an overview of what I've been doing. I plan on moving on and doing more things with marksman rifles after this. Once I get kind of done getting a good feel for the assault rifles and the SMGs.
Yeah, this first time around for me has been almost all ARs and just a little bit of SMGs. I run the MSBS as well. Like you said, it's a great mid, even just a little bit long weapon, but not super long, not like a sniper rifle or anything like that. But it's just a really good overall high accuracy because it doesn't jump too much. You're all right though. If you miss the first clip or you miss the first burst, you're probably going to lose if somebody has a fully automatic weapon. Just the way that it is, you just don't have enough time to put enough bullets into them. My AR for the long range has been the Remington R5. That seems to be the longest range weapon for me, and I'll use that on some of the longer maps or if I'm trying to do spotting for people. I find that Remington R5 has been the nicest from a distance. MSBC is definitely the overall weapon. I've been testing out the AK-12 because of your success with it. Again, running these with grip and red dot, you just have to have those by default. I'm sure you can change out the sight a little bit, but definitely with the grip. And then the Honey Badger has been my running class, and in Black Ops 2 that would have been an SMG with lightweight and all that kind of stuff. Well, I've done that, but I'm using the Honey Badger because it comes with the silencer on it. Use it red dot to keep a little bit of range with it, and then grip just because it has a lot of kick as well. And I use that a lot in Blitz, like if I'm playing offensively in Blitz, because I know I'm going to try to make everything close quarters or at worst medium quarters, and it works really, really well. I've tried the SMGs around the Vepr and the K7. The K7 I found was very useful on free fall. Since you play that playlist, you get free fall a lot. That one works really well. The Vepr, however, I think, in my opinion, has been the best hip firing weapon there is. And if you put steady aim on it, it just makes it even better. I've tried to play with the MTAR X a little bit in another loadout. One of my other characters. This one's locked right now on this one, so I don't generally use it. I know a lot of the pros are using it. You're telling me a lot of really good players are using it. What I'm finding with the iron sights is there's so much blocking your screen with it. I'm still having a hard time getting used to the iron sights on that. Overall, the SMGs I think are better in this game than they were in Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2, they were more of a primary weapon. Now they're very situational. You're definitely going to play on the smaller maps, or you're going to be definitely being a lightweight runner and going through the buildings and try to clear people out with that. Something like maybe what like a shotgun used to be like. So I really like the way they balanced it out. I really like using the ARs. I like the medium range engagements. I'm not quite as accurate as you are. My accuracy numbers are going up now that I'm using the MSBS a lot more. And I'm just a couple of percentages behind you, but it comes down to that first burst. If you miss that first burst, you're in trouble. If you make that first burst, you're in good shape because you have a lot of damage on the person if you haven't already killed them. So overall, I think, at least from an AR perspective, they've done a really good job. I have played with the SC 2010, and that one's been a very lightweight, very accurate weapon that's not super useful. I like the SA 805. That one's kind of a better model of the SC 2010 that I play with a fully automatic weapon. Although I'm testing out your AK-12, trying to get better with that. That one seems to jump a little bit. I'm using the grip on that, but I'm just getting used to how much it jumps. The nice thing is it's consistent. It's kind of like the old AKs where they just jump straight up and down. There's no angle to it.
It
And
packs a big punch too. That's what I really like about it.
it does seem like it has heavy
I think it's
bullets.
one of the highest. It's one of the highest damage ones in the game. The AK-12 and the Remington are equal there.
Yeah. And then the FAD and the ARX are the ones I don't use a whole lot. And like I said, with the Honey Badger, it's just a running and gun one for me. But overall, I like what they've done with the weapon. I think it goes back to the time to kill. I 100% agree with you that I hope they don't nerf the MSBS, because if they're going to just nerf everything along the way, these guns are just going to become very bland and very average. And that's not what I like to play with. I like to play with guns that are very strong, and TTK is very fast. I think it just makes it a lot more enjoyable overall.
Yeah, I think they've done a good job with the assault rifles. I mean, I see people using every one of them, and then some of it is people getting a feel for them. But I think I could pick up every one of these and put a loadout on it that I could be successful in the game. Even the ARX and the FAD. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's ways to use it to your advantage. You know, partnering up with perks and things like that. And,
Yep.
you know, having said that, I think this is a good spot to transition into talking about the perks and the new perk system. Really, I think this is one of the single biggest improvements in the game is what they've done with this perk system. And if you look at this perk screen, there's a lot here, right? Yeah, you go from that old 3-category system, which has been the staple since Call of Duty 4, right? This goes away from that, right? You don't have to be limited to these categories anymore. You don't have to pick one from each category, and you can't have more than one. You know, and although the pick 10 system from Black Ops 2 started to go there, but this new pick 12 system, if you want to call it that, takes you all the way there. Put on whatever perks you want, but you pay a penalty for the ones that are better. And I think they've done a really good job of categorizing which ones cost which points. So I think overall you have 12 points to use. And you can see here my loadouts, by the way. I don't have a single loadout that I use a secondary, a lethal, or a tactical. I think the perks are more valuable than those things are, so I don't use them. Other people may feel differently about it, but I like perking up. My favorite part of a shooter is the shooting and the gunplay. So that's what I do. I like that about the game. I can customize this game with the perks, with this pick 12 type system, to play the way that I like to play, and that's gun against gun. So that this allows me to get an advantage doing that, and dropping those tacticals. The other thing it does, it cleans up the tacticals. You don't have as many people using flashes and stuns. They're still out there, but it's not like one long constant flash like in Modern Warfare 3, where you just always had a tactical and you didn't have the option really to remove it. Well, now you got the option to remove it. You have more people doing things like this, and putting these perks together, and you know, you can see the points you have on them. The other thing is use squad points. You can get these things in one of two ways, and you can see I have most all of these unlocked, and it's because I'm, you know, level 58 out of 60. You can see a couple here that'll say, you know, unlock at level 59 and Deadeye, which I'm looking forward to playing around with. I just wasn't going to spend 15 squad points on it. But I can unlock it right now. You can see up in the corner I have about 200 unused squad points right now, so I could unlock this right now if I wanted to, instead of waiting for the level. I love that. I like that I have the ability to not have to wait all the way to level 60 to get something. If it's valuable enough to me, if it's something I'm going to use a lot, I can just spend squad points to get it. I really, really like that aspect of what they did here. And the guns are all that way, right? There is no unlocking any gun at any level. It's all done based on squad points. And then the attachments. You know, if you look at one of these, as I wreck one of my loadouts here, I don't even know which one I picked, but if you look at these, you can you pick your. You know, I can unlock whatever attachment I want. I don't have to wait. I don't have to do anything. You know, if I want to use this tracker sight, which I may play around with Sunday, it looks interesting. But if you want to do that, you can unlock it now. If I want to make this into I think it's important to note, you can make all of your ARs into single fire weapons, or I can make them all burst weapons. And that's something I may play around with a little bit more. Maybe the SC-2010 is a really good burst weapon. I don't know. I haven't tried it. So there's just so many options and things I haven't done yet in here. And with the perk system, there are so many combinations that you can have that you can just really customize this to how you want to play the game. And you know, no longer is there this how you run the, you know, you put on, you know, Black Ops 2, you put on your lightweight, dexterity, toughness loadout, and you go wreck the map with your SMG. And it's not like that anymore. Now you can spend some time in here and figuring out and tailoring these things to the way that you like to play, and I think it's great. I really like it. And a couple of perks to highlight. Focus is fantastic. That's my go-to perk. I got it. I have it on every loadout. Not everybody does that, but I do. I think it just helps you win gunfights. I highly recommend it. But that's only two of my points. As you can see, I got a lot more other points I can use. So it's not like I'm using like 1/3 of my stuff like you would in another Call of Duty game all in one perk. So I can then come out here and pick and choose what I want to use. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I could mirror a lot what you said there. I do like the point system. I like the squad points, like how you can open up anything. You don't have to become a prestiger. And I was going to talk about that in kind of a general sense too. I like the way they're doing prestiges in this, where you're not flipping over and losing everything and flipping over, losing everything. You have different people that you can buy out. But then if you have enough squad points, you can make them very effective early. I won't go into the perks so much as you did, because you did a real good overview on it. I'll talk about some of my favorites as well that you'll see on a lot of my loadouts. And again, it goes with the basic with focus, like you were talking about. I really like the stalker. I really need that with an AR, because I'm so used to that SMG play where I was always strafing so fast. Now I can continue to do that with the stalker. I don't feel like I'm such defenseless when I go down the sights. And then for just about everything that I play, I got to make sure that I have faster aiming or the quick draw perk on. And I think if I go through all mine, and they're pretty much, those three are steady all the way through. The other thing from a specific perk that I like too is the dead silence, because sound is so important in this game, like we talked about earlier, that dead silence and amplify are two things that you can take to your advantage even further depending on kind of gameplay. So it's basically just taking that perk system, matching it up to your loadout, what you're doing, what your game type is. It really gives a depth to this game. So like I have a loadout that's just for blitz and just for defending on blitz. So I even use a lethal, I think is it AIS? Can't remember what that's called, IED. And I use those, and then I use a perk to double that. So now I have two of them. So if I'm playing solo, I can kind of cover one area with the IEDs, and then I can gun cover the other one. But again, this system complements what you're doing. And again, we're talking about gun-on-gun battles. We're not talking about getting flashed and stunned and all those things. Some people use that and use it effectively, but it's not the old days where your screen was white, half the time you were playing the game because of all the double flashes people were throwing at you. This has just been a real good way to kind of use perks to complement what you have, but then not hold anything back so that you have to level up to be effective. And that kind of goes into what you were talking about, the squad points. And I'll just go lead right into the squad points. I think this is a really good way to do that, where you can use your money that you earn or your squad points on perks, attachments, trying out different things. Like you said with the MSBS, I can hardly wait until I'm kind of done leveling this guy up, because then I want to start going through and trying out all the different attachments. I know I've tried out, I think it's a VMR site that kind of gives you like a 4x zoom on it, and I can just unlock it right now if I wanted to try it out today. I think I have it on one particular gun right now, but it's just fun how you can mix and match and change and complement what you have going, and yet have enough squad points to test things out. I don't feel like I've ever lacked squad points. I don't feel like, kind of in I think it was Black Ops that they had the money system, and sometimes you felt like you just didn't have enough money and you couldn't buy the things that you wanted to buy. Now it feels like you can save it up, earn them, spend them, and not be short anything. So it's not like they're restricting you purchasing things. The squad points, I think, is a really good idea in this. It goes away from the money thing, gets away from the gambling single player games that people like to play. Just brings a good balance to it, and allows you to open up things that you typically in the past have not been able to open up until you were at level 60 or 70 or 80 or prestige once. I just like that flexibility. It makes it fun. Every gun you pick up has a different attachment on it depending on who loaded it out. I like the variety. Not everybody's using this one gun with this one attachment. Everybody's doing everything, and I like that variety.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that it just brings a new element to the game. Squad points were a little tough to come by early on, but it didn't take too long. You just restricted yourself to a couple of loadouts until you build up some squad points, leveled up a little bit. Another thing to point out is when we talked about the war games and things earlier, you earn squad points playing in the war games also, or in the squad games. So That's a great way to go earn some squad points without having to go into multiplayer, and get your weapons and things situated by doing that too. So that's just another tip that you can go do. Another thing they've I don't know if overhauled, but there's a big difference now in the score streaks. They went back to the assault, support, and specialist. Um, and I'm going to dive into the assault just a little bit here. The score streaks are not anywhere near as powerful as any game since Call of Duty 4. Call of Duty had become, in my opinion, a very score streak dominated game from Modern Warfare 2 on. What you did was camped out until you got your big score streaks going, and then wrecked the map. All right, and got your chopper gunner up in Modern Warfare 2, or camped out the nuke, whatever you want to end the game right there. Black Ops, SR, chopper, dogs, right? Camp that SR out. As soon as you get that SR, you're almost guaranteed that chopper dogs after that, and then it completely just dominates the map at that point. There's nothing like that in this game. There are no score streaks in here that will dominate the map. Not the chopper gunner even, or the Loki. I mean, there are Loki. I don't know how you pronounce that, but the Maniac might be the best one, but it still only allows one person to do damage, right? It's not, but it can really change a game type, especially a game type like Blitz, and you can win getting a Maniac almost, but they are far less powerful now, and I like that. It gives the team that's getting beat at least a fighting chance to make a comeback, or if you're not just getting decimated. You're not spawning into games where there's dogs and choppers and stuff blowing up everywhere, right? You can spawn into a game and still have a decent game, even though you're going to lose, right? You're not just getting killed by kill streaks over and over and over again. I really like that about the score streaks. I think they're really balanced. Other people don't like that. Right? They play the game because of the big score streaks. I play the game for gun-on-gun gameplay. So having score streaks complement you is better than having score streaks take over the game. What do you think on that?
Well, the first thing that I think of is Black Ops when we talk about SR chopper dogs. I mean, what it became is it became the point. Can I go out and get an SR chopper dogs in Black Ops? Now, when you take all that stuff away, that takes that part of the game, takes that aspect out of the game, which is good because now you're getting back to the game. You're not getting to the point where you're just trying to sit on score streaks like you said. I like the fact that these score streaks are not dominant. They're useful. IMSs are useful. The dog is useful. Sentry guns are useful. But they're not to the point where it's a game changer. It's like if I hold on and I get this one care package, I will say that the Maniac in Blitz is kind of crazy. And I don't know if you've ever played with the other not Maniac, but the other one after that. But the guy moves really, really slow. The Juggernaut, he moves really, really slow. But I like the fact that it's nice to have them, and it's good to get to them, and it's fun to get to them. But that does not guarantee that you're going to win. When you played Black Ops and you got SR Chopper Dogs, you took over the game for about 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, depending on how bad the other team was. Plus, like you said, you don't spawn into a game where your team is just getting beat down, and you get into the game and you have to go take cover and you can't do anything for a couple of minutes because they have their SR Chopper Dogs up as well. I played a little bit with the assault ones. I haven't opened up all of them. I've actually have not used all of them except for in a private match. And I find, like you said, that none of them are overpowering. Actually, I can't even figure out how to use the low key. I just keep hitting right bumper, left bumper, trigger, and it does stuff. But I haven't quite figured it out yet. So maybe they'll become more effective as we get used to using them. But right now, they're not overbearing to the point where now you've won the game because you got to your low key. It's just not that way. In the support package, I played with a little bit on that, not a whole lot. I probably should use it a little bit more because I understand that the pros are using that a little bit more, as you said earlier. So I probably need to get to a point where I'm using those a little bit more, like ballistic vests. I've picked those up from other teammates and they are amazing. And there's just certain things like Oracle is really handy. You can see people through walls. But again, these streaks don't change the game over. So you're not all of a sudden down by 100 and, oh, we got this streak, so now we're going to catch up. It just doesn't work that way. And it helps not having such one-sided streaks as well. The specialist strike package is one that I like, but I only use it in. I'm trying to think of the name of the game now. The one where
Cranked.
cranked. I use it in cranked because then you get the cranked specialist, and then you get the specialist on top of that, and that's one of those game types where you expect to have long streaks. You'll get 10, 15 kills in a row, but then you'll die a few times in a row, and then you'll get a bunch of streaks going again. I think my average string is like 8 or 9 or something like that on average in cranked, but then you die a few times. So I match those together. Other than that, I don't really use the specialist in a regular game mode. I suppose like in team deathmatch or something it might work, but I don't really play that either. But again, overall, I think the biggest point to take out of this is the assault streak, the support streak, and the specialist. Nothing is so overbearing that once you get to those streaks, you're not just sitting on those to win the game or to obliterate the other team. You're just getting those to complement what you're already working on in your objectives. I really like the way they did that. And again, going back to the maps and how things don't blow up like they used to, I think that really helps. I think this really calms down all these strike packages as well, because not everything's blowing around and not everybody's throwing stuff at you, and plus the streaks that are going on. It just adds to that, like you said, a gun on gun type of game, and these strike packages don't take you away from that. That's a big A plus for me, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I agree. I find myself getting streaks in the course of a game, while working on the objective, as opposed to trying to get streaks a lot. I mean, I'll be playing, I'm like, oh, hey, I got a battle hind, not even realizing that I had a streak like that going, because I'm just focused on the objective. I'm focused on that I almost forget to look at my streaks. And number one is because they're not, you're not going to get a ton of kills with most of these streaks. Matter of fact, you probably get more kills with an IMS than you will a battle hind on most of these maps, just the way that they're broken out. Big tip there. IMS is one of the better streaks. And so I don't look at it a lot in support. And I'm probably going to start running that more. I've ran it a little bit, and I found that the Night Owl is really good. So that gives you a kind of a radius around you where you have your own little personal, I want to say UAV, but probably the word there is motion sensor. So you get your own little motion sensor there. It also acts as a trophy system to protect you from explosives, so that's pretty cool. So I'll probably start using that more. But I think you covered everything else. I only use specialist and crank also. May use a little bit more, but overall, I like what they've done with those. And again, you unlock them with squad points. Not level ups at all. So you unlock whatever you want, use whatever you want. You can see there's a couple of these I haven't unlocked yet. Turret and really the top three. Could unlock that helo pilot. I'd like to use that. But yeah, I haven't really changed my score streaks up a whole lot yet. Probably start doing that more, but I like it. Some people don't like that, right? Some people played the game because of the score streaks, and I can understand that they're going to be a little disappointed in this. But to me, it puts the focus back on you, the player, and your gun abilities and your ability to play the game objectively. So
Yeah, I think that all leads to taking the BS out of the game, the explosions, the streaks. You take a lot of that BS out of the game, and it just makes it overall more consistent, more enjoyable, more skillful. I just like it a lot better.
yeah, I agree, and I think that pretty much covers most of multiplayer. There's some other customization stuff that you can do in there with your guy and put stuff on them, but to be honest, I don't really care about any of that. There's this operations area in here that you can go into, and you can earn squad points by going in and completing various operations and multiple operations. And I don't know, I don't use that a lot. I was, but I got a lot of squad points now, so I'm not real concerned with that. I was looking at that earlier, but I think that probably brings us to a point where we can kind of each kind of give our final take and summary on the game. So overall, I think that the word that I would use to best describe this game is potential. It has a great base to be a great game. The unchangeable elements are there, meaning the way the game plays, the way it feels, your movement, the shooting, the connections, the hit detection, all of those things to me, which really makes up the core of the game, are outstanding. and then you start to build in the other pieces around it. I think the perk system and the customization, and as we covered, is great. I'd like to see more game types. I'd like to see something more for the competitive side and the esports. Things I think they can change, and I hope that they will. But those are the things that are going to elevate this from a very good game to a great or an outstanding game. I think, it's a lot of fun to play. I'm having a lot of fun with it now. Really enjoying it. And like I said, the core elements of the game are good. They can always release more maps. They can always fix and adjust spawns. What's great is the cons that I have in that are all fixable cons. Now, will they fix them, or will they? I mean, obviously they're not out there catering the game to me, so there's lots of other people playing this game. But I hope that that they are able to fix and really turn this into, one of the best games in the series. I'd probably, if I was rating it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably in that 8 range. And if I gave a scale, I would say Call of Duty 4 was probably the highest in that 9 to 9.5 range. Call of Duty the original Call of Duty is probably 8.5, 9. Call of Duty 2 right in that range. This is probably an 8. Modern Warfare 2 I would have given a 6 maybe, and only because that game had what scares me is that game had all kinds of potential and they never fixed it. Right, it remained broke with explosions and everything else. And then on into Black Ops, Modern Warfare, which that was a very good game. That was probably right in the 7.5 to 8 range. Modern Warfare 3, 5 maybe. I was never a big Modern Warfare 3 fan. And then Black Ops was higher, really, with that competitive play, but the connections were so difficult in that game that it was harder for me to rate it much more than a 7 or a 7.5. So there's a great start to this game. There's a lot of potential here, and I hope that they're able to continue to support it and it lives up to that potential.
Overall, for this game for me, I'm very optimistic about it. This is a very good gameplay, very good strategy, very good gun-on-gun, really decently played out maps. I really like this. Now, keep in mind, I've never played the original Modern Warfare that you're comparing it to, so I'm more of a Black Ops player. This is a really nice, fresh change, and you got to realize this is Call of Duty, I don't know, what is this, 8 now? So we've had quite a few of these. So this, to me, is really a new, fresh attempt to make it still playable, make it enjoyable, something that we'll play for a few months. The reason why I say optimistic is because we're about to have a platform change. We're going to go from the Xbox 360 platform to the Xbox One. Hopefully that means it's going to stay just as good and then expand on it. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see on that. I really like the additions that they put into this game with the squads mode. I think that's very beneficial to not just for myself for testing out things, but this will be really beneficial for people that maybe aren't necessarily as skilled at the game. This will be a place that they might gravitate to because it's still a very fun multiplayer type experience with the really good AIs. What they've done with it, I think, is very beneficial to those type of players as well. So it's not just for them; it's for everybody. It's a really good testing ground for me as well. But it's a really nice change of pace if you want to get out of the multiplayer. If you're having a bad night, you just want to jump in and play a couple quick games. It's a lot of fun. The extinction mode that we talked about earlier is a really nice, fresh attempt at like a zombies type play. And then one thing we didn't touch on at all, and I know Money hasn't played the campaign at all. He's going to wait for the Xbox One version to come out. And I've only played the campaign during they had a outage of Xbox Live, and I did a local campaign up to the title. And I'm usually not a single player person, but this was spectacular. You'd have to play it, and I know I've teased Money enough that he almost wants to try it out, but I've never played a single player, even just for the first 20 minutes that I played it, remotely close to this, whether it be a Call of Duty franchise or a Battlefield franchise or any franchise for that matter. So it is definitely worth a look. I would maybe might want to wait for the Xbox One for the graphics like Money's doing, but don't wait if you don't want to, and go for it because it's a lot of fun. Overall, the game rating for me, because I'm optimistic that it's going to go better, I'm going to start with an 8 as well. I'm confident that they'll take this same experience and they'll just make it better going forward and maybe larger. But please bring my Demolition back. That is my favorite game type. And sometimes I find that I'm just missing something when I go through multiplayer trying to find a game to play. It's like I miss that a lot. So I'd like to see that game type come back in, as well as what Money said. I'd like to see the esports take off. I'd like to see Infinity Ward continue on what Black Ops has done to kind of grow that experience and grow that whole esports environment. Support the pro players. We like to watch it. We like to see it. It makes us want to play your game because we'll watch them play and then we'll go back and play because it's so fun watching them play. It just reinvigorates me to go back and do better, especially watching them. I kind of take some tips and tricks from them and try to apply it to my own game style or my own loadout. And it's just a lot of fun. I wish they would support that a lot better. But overall, like I said, probably 8 out of 10, and hoping to see if we can get this up to like maybe a 9 after the Xbox One release. That's my take on it.
Yep, I agree. I think we're in line there. So, all right. Well, I think that wraps it up. I have no idea what part this might be in the series. We'll figure that out after we break these up. There's a few parts here. I think there's a lot of great content here, and I hope everybody, people enjoyed listening and got something out of that. But yep. So Moneyman 300 here. Thanks a lot.
Rock King
and
3
we'll
here.
talk to you later.
Thanks a lot for listening.
All right.
Later.
Later, guys.
See ya. Better pick up another weapon here.
Satcom uplink enabled.
I don't think you can. Close that door.
Friendly Satcom active. Losing C.
Yeah.
Losing Bravo.
Here we go.
Vest ready for deployment. We lost Bravo.
Ah!
Losing C.
Alright, let's go to C.
Enemy has Bravo.
Come on.
Alpha secure.
Come on, clear them up.
Uplink enabled. We lost C. Securing C.
Bless it! I thought he would look for a guy.
Secure.
Alright.
Losing A. Satcom uplink enabled. We lost Alpha. Enemy has Alpha. Securing Charlie. Night already.
Nice.
Satcom uplink enabled. Enemy has C. Enemy Satcom spotted. Securing Charlie. Night Owl expired. Securing Alpha. Ground jammer ready. Charlie secure. Friendly Satcom active. Friendly ground jammer active. Satcom uplink enabled. Friendly Oracle online. Friendly Satcom active.
Oh, might be fuckers.
Secure. Losing B.
Oh my god.
Friendly SATCOM active. We lost B. Securing Bravo.
Wow! Youchers!
Ballistic vest ready for deployment. SATCOM uplink enabled. Friendly SATCOM active. That already. Enemy SATCOM spotted. SATCOM uplink enabled. Losing Charlie. We lost C. Enemy has Charlie. Ground jammer ready. Friendly ground jammer active. We're winning this fight. Enemy has Alpha.
Wow. How in the world do they have so many points around that C point?
Securing A. A secure.
Ah.
Night owl expired. Losing B. We lost B. Enemy has Bravo. Enemy SATCOM spotted. Securing B. Ballistic vest ready to be equipped. Good job. Report to command for debrief.
That'll work. Actually had some players there. Kind of nice. Had, it was like 5 decent players. Not bad. Out of 9. We definitely had more than the other team did. I think I had that other team last time. It's a little bit less frustrating. Alright, thanks a lot for listening, guys. Catch you next time.